Yo, what is up, guys? It's Fred here, and I am going to be giving you a short tutorial on After Effects, how to set up your showreel, and how to do simple opacity fades, and we should get cracking. Well, as you can see, we're in Adobe, and you want to know how to set up your composition. There's two ways how to set up your composition on After Effects, and either you click here, create a new composition, or either you go to composition, tab on top, and create a new comp. I'm going to name this composition Tut 1, Tut 1. And as you can see, I got my custom 720p settings. So if you guys want to look at this, it's 1280 by 720. So width 1280, height 720. Make sure the lock aspect ratio is checked off, and you want to make sure the frame rate is 60 FPS. As you can see, it's 13 minutes and 29 seconds. That's way too big for me. I'm not going to have a 13-minute showreel, or I don't think anyone will do. So what we're going to do, we're going to change it to 1 minute and 29 seconds. So that should be fine. So you can see it's 1 minute, 29 seconds, 1 minute 30. And what you need to do is drag in your clips, or videos, whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to begin with is by dragging the clips. I got my my clips and music sorted out. So if you want to know how to make folders like that, it's easy. All you need to do is just click on this folder button down here, rename it to whatever you want. I'm going to rename that to Tut, for example. And you can drag in whatever you want in there. So let's say I'm going to drag in a clip into Tut. And there you go, you can see into Tut. But I don't want it into Tut. Let's delete that. So as simple as this, right? All you need to do is probably just drag in whatever you want. So I'm going to drag in my first clip here. You can see it's smooth to go through, like in smooth, you can drag through it. It's really easy, smooth, and just you can go through this really smooth. Shouldn't have much difficulty going through that. And as you can see, maybe you want to fade out into the next clip, whatever you want. Maybe you want to change it to the next video. As simple as that. All you need to do is either open up this triangle here, go to transform, and you can see there's opacity. You can either do that, or you can just click T, but you have to make sure you're clicked onto the tab when you're doing that. Okay, as simple as that. So let's say you want to fade it, this clip to another clip. Simple as that. So let's go to opacity fade. Well, we'll go to opacity. Then after we go across to the other end and put this down here. Sorry, to make keyframes, I've head off to it a little bit too fast. To make a keyframe, you click on the timer here and you drag it, and you click on the keyframe here. Maybe it's on 0, maybe it's on too low, maybe we want to go back to it. So what we're going to do is, if you want to go back to a keyframe, you click on this little arrow here. It goes back to that keyframe you made. So I need to put this back up to 100. So as you can see here, none of that is affected because it's 100, because it's a default state. But as soon as it hits that keyframe, it drops down. Like that. So let's put another clip in. So I'm going to put this number 1 clip in here. Sure, it fades to the next one. As you can see, it fades into the next one here. And I know this animation is a little bit too long for me, so I'm going to fade it a little bit earlier. So I'm going to click T again, click on the timer again, go a couple of frames right, and drag it down like that. Maybe you don't want it to be, you want it to keep it clean and not have like the little, you don't really need a little bit of that at the end, a little bit of the layer at the end. So maybe we want to cut it down. So it's easy to cut down. You're going to go to edit, and you want to go to split layer, and you want to go press delete. Like that. So you can see it's cleaner. You don't really see much of the layer. That little bit of the layer is gone. And when you go through this, it should be easy to scroll through. And you can see that it fades in. It fades out the end. Easy as that. Maybe you want to add music. So, what I've got here, I'm going to close down this clips folder here. I'm going to go to music. I'm going to drag in my song what I've chose. So when you RAM preview, you dragged in a layer. You can see that the audio layer is there. I'm going to RAM preview this. Should take too long. You're going to hear the music in there. Maybe you don't want the music to start straight away. Maybe you want to fade it in. So I'm going to drag this a little bit right, because see, it starts a little bit later. So I'm going to start around here, right? So I'm going to click L. And this should have your audio levels and like the volume of your audio and how high or how low you want them. So before I brought up the audio wave warp, so I'm going to double click L. That normally brings out the audio wave warp. Then if I want to bring the normal audio level, I just click on that and it should bring out the keyframes to make keyframes, and if I want to set some animations to it. So I'm going to click on the audio level here. I'm going to make this keyframe minus 100. I'm going to go right, a couple of frames right, and set the audio level to 0. Let's spread it a little bit further out. No, a little bit closer. So as you can see, when I RAM preview this, you can hear this music fading in. If you want at the beginning for the showreel to fade into it, it's really simple. You start the keyframe at the beginning here. Make that keyframe, make a keyframe here. Start at 0. Go a little bit right. You turn that up to 100, and that should bring it back to its default state. And it will bring it up to the next one and next one. If you want to fade the music out, it's the same method. You make a keyframe, go right, and go to minus 100. So, if I RAM preview, let me RAM preview all of this. You can see it fades out like that. Maybe you want to render it out and your comp is too big. So what you need to do is you need to press N. This shortens your workspace. So anything you RAM preview will be in this workspace. That's the only thing it would render or RAM preview. So if it's all the way at the end, or RAM preview all the way up to the end. But if you want to like your workspace just to render up to these certain points, you press N. And there you go, and you've got your RAM preview up to there. So if let's test that, we RAM preview again. And depending what your preview settings are on, it'll loop over and start from the beginning all over again. So maybe it's a little bit too long and you just want to render up to this part, only up to the in the workspace. So what I'll do is I'll right click in the center, and what you have here, you have lift work, extract work area, but you want the end, you want trim comp to work area. You click on this, and you can see that your composition has become smaller. So your composition is only 14 seconds long, and so when you render, That's only 14 seconds will be rendered out. So maybe I want to render. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to composition, add to render queue, and since I'm going to begin how to render, I'm going to show you my settings how to render. So I already had my presets set up for my render settings, so I'm going to show you how I render. So I'm going to go to render settings to begin with. As you can see, the first thing I notice is that use this frame rate at 30 FPS. You want this frame rate to be 60 FPS to get the smoothest FPS and makes it look smoother and more professional. You don't really need to know anything about this stuff yet now. You don't really need to. I might bring that up in later tutorials. And after that, everything around here seems fine. You press OK. So I'm gonna go to output module. And as you can see, my format is H.264. H.264 is the best quality for the size of file you'll be rendering out. Is the best quality, and the file size is not too big whatsoever, so it's the best option to pick for. If you pick AVI, it'll be really big and it'll be really difficult, and you don't really want big file sizes, do you? I'm going to change the format options to 150, target bitrate to 150, maximum bitrate to 150, profile high, level 5 to 1. Okay. And you want to make sure this audio output is clicked. So we press, make sure that this little thing here is clicked. And you want, wherever you want to save it. So I'm going to name this Fred's Tuts. And as easy as that, you can choose where you save it. As you can see, you can choose wherever you want to save it around here, wherever you want to save it. And you press save. And as easy as, and you render it, and everything should be okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this tutorial is beneficial. You can help me drop a like and a comment if you find this beneficial to you. I'll be leaving my Behance and Tumblr in the description below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.